right, we're back for part 3. Now we're on to episode 9 of season 2. Yeah. So thanks again for joining us and agreeing to do a third podcast, third segment. And where are we? Who's got a question?
I have a question again. Okay. So you've talked about a little bit of your experience between public and Catholic school. Do you mind going a little bit deeper in the differences between, like, education-wise? We know the grading process, but maybe teachers and students?
Well, in the Catholic school, the discipline was much, much stricter. Of course, you got to remember, I went to Catholic school from 1956 to 1964. So it was a different time in America.
Right.
But we had uniforms. And guys had to wear white shirts with a tie. That was, OLG was the name. The school I went to was Our Lady of Grace. So OLG stood for that. And then you had to wear blue dress pants, by the way, okay, with a blue stripe down the sides. Girls had to wear skirts. They had to be knee length. And they were actually given a hard time if they were above the knee, special blouse and whatnot. And parents, you paid for that. I mean, you paid for the books, you paid for tuition, you paid for the uniform, you paid for everything, right? But I just think it was a time where education was more specialized and given a greater, shall I say, place in society. It was a different time in America, right? Stuff that you guys, not you two, right? But stuff that kids get away with today, not a chance, right? And some people might say, well, that was over the line. I don't think it was over the line, because you learned, right? And I'm not a stern disciplinarian by any means, but there is a time where that has a value. And if you're teaching and you don't back up and force your own class rules, you're not going to get anything done, right? And over there, when they said something, they meant it. And I enjoyed that. Now, I complained, but then again, I thought that was the way everybody was, because that's all I knew.
So, like, when you, as a teacher, right, and you have students who you've taught at the lower levels, would you say that when you're teaching seniors or teaching freshmen, like, what is that difference like?
Night and day. Night and day. Okay, freshmen come in, they think they're hot stuff. No, for real, because they were big man on campus in middle school. They come in, they don't know the rules. Okay, so the year we came back after COVID was very, very, very challenging. So what would that be, 21, 22, I think it would be? We had fights left and right. And I couldn't, what's going on? And one of the teachers mentioned something. I said, wow, I never thought of that. You are right. And the teacher said to me, they're not ninth graders. They're seventh graders. No, they're ninth graders by age, but they're seventh graders. He says, they never finished the 7th grade in middle school. They're off a complete year. And they come back and you expect them to be able to relate to a high school situation. Mentally, they're 7th graders. I said, you're absolutely right? So, that hurts us, right? I might have mentioned it to your class, Jerry, but maybe not your AP Gov. I might not have said it. A lot of times I say to my seniors, if you could go back and do freshman year over again, would you do it? And more than half the class raises their hand. He says, absolutely, because they didn't take it seriously, and as a result, they're credit deficient when they're in the 12th grade, and then they have to, struggle and scrap to make up the class, and the counselor to work overtime to get them this program and that program. And we got kids taking 8 and 9 classes in their senior year just so they can pass enough classes to be able to walk, right? So there is a big difference. Right? I try to tell my kids often, okay, do you understand? Is there anything I could explain for you? Is there anything I can go over for you, right? And very, very rarely will anybody raise their hand. And I really have to give kudos to the kids who raise their hand. but very, very rarely, right? So I know they don't have it. I know, but all you can do is make the effort to be there for them and give them something, if you could, that will help them. But you can't do it for them. You can't do it. You have to. I think a good teacher is a good motive. I think kids have to know that you care. They have to know that you care. They have to know that you're not there just for the money, that you care, right? And that helps. But then again, you just got to be able to encourage them. Teaching can be frustrating, but I think you have to try to understand where the kids are at and encourage them. Don't belittle them and put them down. I think that's the worst thing you could do. All right. I even tell the AP kids, I tell my AP micro kids, okay, let's talk. I said, okay, so let's say, because that particular AP exam is hard, okay? AP micro and macro. So I said, okay, so let's just talk real life here. So you don't pass the AP micro exam. It's not the end of the world. But did you learn anything in that subject matter that will help you later on in life? Did you learn things that, I tell kids, when you graduate and you go for a job, they're not going to ask you what grade you got in AP Gov. They're not going to ask you what grade you got in micro. They just know, did you graduate? That's all they're going to ask you, right? So anything you could take out of the class that better prepares you for life ahead, that's a gain, even if you didn't pass the AP exam. You know the difference in market structures, and you see how what works, and difference in how to budget and stuff like that, and stuff that's going to actually help you in life. Then that's what you have to go for, right? Anything that helps you is what you want to do. As a teacher, you want to be there, but you have 35. This year I have more kids than I've ever had. I have one class that's 40 kids. I haven't had a class for 40 in U.S. government in years, but my class for 40 is in government. All you can do is spread them around, and they're all spread around. It's just help who you can help. I have probably, all my classes total, 140 kids, right? And most of them, because I teach seniors, most of them I don't know from the year before. My AP micro class, I might have 10 or 12 kids who I'll have as seniors, but that's it. So a lot of the kids, you don't know. So then you get the first 4 or 5 weeks, and if you think you're going to memorize 130 faces that you see 2 times a week and know them like that, you're not, right? So I like to call kids by their names because kids like to be called by their name. But sometimes I feel bad because I really don't know the kid's name because they're moving around and whatnot. What am I supposed to do, right? So all you got to do is try to help them, encourage them, and be there for them. That's all you got to do. One thing I just, all the We the People plaques and trophies that are in the room, and you know them, okay? I thank you because the kids earned them. But I think the thing that gives me the most satisfaction is that I think there was like 7 or 8 years in a row that the senior class voted me either most inspirational or most fatherly. To me, that's it. That's better than passing the AP exam. That's better than winning state championship with We the People, because hopefully you spoke into a kid's life and you helped them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
You're very motivational.
You are.
What do you like to read? Since we're in a library.
You are in a library.
Well, obviously, what I read the most is the Bible.
Okay.
Okay, I try to read the Bible. I don't read every day, but I read almost every day. I might miss 4 or 5 days a year, right? But outside of that, I love history. I love history.
You have a certain time period that you would say is your favorite, or you
I
can't
like
get
it
enough
all.
of?
I like it all. I really enjoy teaching world history,
Mm-hmm.
right? 'Cause I do that stuff. I've been teaching government for the last 20 years that I'm teaching. Actually, to make you laugh, I am the second longest teacher teaching at Canyon. She won't mind. Cheryl Dameron, who's in my department, she's here I started in November of 2005. She started in August of 2005. And the only other person here longer than me, 2 people, was RJ and Coach Banks. Coach Banks was here at the beginning of the year. Right? But I enjoy. I love European history. I've been privileged to. I'm like a little kid. I've made multiple. They're mostly Christian mission trips to Europe, but you don't speak in churches all the time. There's downtime, right? So in the downtime, right, you're like a tourist, right? And I love that. I mean,
we're going to see some really cool old churches in Sicily, and even in London.
Yeah, I would think.
I'd like
so.
to go to Westminster Abbey.
Westminster Abbey.
Is that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, but I have a friend who pastors in Romania, because I've been to Romania like 8 times, and I just wanted to he took me to Bulgaria. So all you could do is right across the Danube. I love that stuff. It's the Danube, and when I first went, you had to take a ferry.
State, yeah.
Right. It's so close, right? One side of the river is Romania, the other side of the river is Bulgaria.
Europe's amazing.
It's amazing, right? And I really enjoy that. So one time I was in Bulgaria, and I'm walking down this city, Vilna, I think it was. I forget the name of the city. And I see an old Jewish synagogue. And you can tell it's old. The building is old, right? And I'm looking at this, and the glass is still intact. And I just had this thought: what happened here during World War II? That's the thought. The Jewish synagogue said, I'd like to know. I think I'd like to know. Maybe I wouldn't like to know. Okay, what happened here because of what happened to the Jewish people, and the history of it, right? So I love that stuff. Right?
All right. Well, I think we're out of time. Anything else we want to say here before we sign off? Please follow, subscribe, consider doing that.
Good luck to our football team today. It's our senior night, so hopefully we beat Valley and go to state or regionals or
they're on the verge of the playoffs. Is this true? That they have to win to get in the playoffs?
I know
it's been a good turnaround this season.
Yeah, they started out not well, but I think they've won 4 or 5 games in a row, and I expect them to go to the playoffs.
All right. Thank you so much. You're a
treasure.
Thank you. You're a national treasure.
I enjoyed this. I love you. I just enjoyed this. It's good.
Yep. And
definitely join We the People if you're interested.
Oh yeah.
That's
so
one thing I'll put out there.
Think about that for next year. It's a commitment, but it's really engaging, and you learn a lot of information. It's probably wouldn't learn it if you weren't in that environment. So.
Dr. Grillo is going to have a chance to share that.
Thanks to you
on the international stage.
Thanks to you, because I didn't know you saying present, right?
Well, I tricked him into presenting.
He did.
I said, "Come on, when you're getting all the way there, you have to talk about We the People for 20 minutes."
No, what actually started was he said, "I'd like you to come with me to Sicily," and I said, "I don't want to go." Right. Then I decided. My friend said, "Go." Right. So then he says, "You don't have to present." Then once I said that I was going, he goes, "You should present."
But he's natural. I mean, it's not going to be
we'll
second nature to you presenting.
Right. We're going to show some of the video from that we saw on PBS. We're going to show some of that.
Yeah,
on the program.
This is low key, a light. This is not. You don't have to do any research or anything.
No, I'll enjoy it.
Thank you for having me. I'm collecting data and trying to analyze it and all that stuff. Still, all right. You want to sign us off?
All right,
Jerry?
Well, guys, we have some cool people we're interviewing coming up next in a later episode. But thank you, Dr. Grillo, for coming and taking time to speak with us and get to learn a little bit more about you. Professional gambler, that was definitely a shock. But I will see you in class on Monday.
I will too, I think. Is it? No. Tuesday.
You had him today?
I have him right now.
Oh, well then look at that. We're good to go.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Brody. Thanks for
Brody
keeping
thank you
our
very
sound,
much.
our camera rolling. So thanks,
keeping
Brody.
us going here. All right.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Toodles.